Hello and welcome to ThePapare.com. Well, looking back at the week that was in schools rugby, you're on the breakdown with me, Shanaka. Let's look at the results of the last weekend. First game on the cards, we had one up in Nithawala. Trinity College storming back in the second half. 7 tries they scored against St. Anthony's 35-10. They won that game. St. Joseph's College beating Zahira convincingly 47-5. And Science College went down at home to Isipathana, who played well for their 35-8 victory. Once again, Maliyadeva College at the end of a half century of points, 82 points. St. Peter's College scored the biggest win of the season so far. And Royal College in a close win against an unfancied Wesley side, 24 points to 19. But there were plenty of hearts in the mouths in the last stages of that game, and another game that really went down to the wire. St. Thomas's lucky to come away with a win against a spirited, hungry Kingswood side that travelled to Colombo and lost 22-17. Let's have a closer look at our featured games this weekend. We have Isipathana taking on Science, the difficult ground to travel to, the Science College ground in Mount Lavinia, but Isipathana made a short work of it. Manil Kuruberu once again exceptional in that centre position, coming into first receiver when he needs it as well. Science College managed to get a try on the board towards the end of that game, but it was all Isipathana. It's a green wave just going on and on and on. There were a few tries that didn't come to fruition for Isipathana as well, but it's still the third week and I'm sure they're going to get better. Their cohesion is going to get better, and that midfield of Ruberu and Malura Ratnaik are looking really good for Isipathana College. They have set the marker and they are going to be one of the teams to be beaten this season so far. We had Royal taking on Wesley College as well. That was at the Royal College Sports Complex, a place that Royal love to play at, and of course that they're very difficult to beat at as well. But Wesley College came close towards the end, and I think the downpour that we had at half-time really served the Royalists well, because those big Royal forwards really revelled in the weather and managed to make use of their big bodies and try and smash that Wesley defence, a much smaller forward pack. Their game plan was probably going to be set towards mobility and trying to get this Royal pack going backwards. But with the weather conditions, that all changed in the second half. But still, Murshid Zubair outstanding once again at the back, pulling all the strings for Wesley College. But unfortunately, despite the fact that he was the architect of 2 of the tries that Wesley scored, they couldn't get close. 24 points to 19. Royal looking much better than they did against St. Thomas's. A good performance from them this time. Much more cohesion between the forwards and the backs, and the ball that they had, the front foot ball, was much better for them this time around as well. So it looks like they fixed the problems that they had at Mount Lavinia when they came back to Reed Avenue, and it looks like they too are a team that will be challenging Isipathana for the top honours this season. Then we had the match between St. Thomas's College and Kingswood. That was played on the Monday as well, and it was a pretty lackluster affair, and most of the crowds haven't made their way down from Kandy to support this Kingswood team, and neither had most of the Thomian faithful made their way to Mount Lavinia for the second Monday in a row as well. And the game itself never really picked up its intensity for the Thomians, but that was what Kingswood capitalized on. They scored very early on in the piece. Some outstanding work from their back division throughout the game, and St. Thomas's, with some really desperate defense, had to hold on. But in the second half, St. Thomas's, once again going according to script, managed to keep the ball a little bit closer to their chest, put it up the jumper and walked all the way through for about 30 meters to score the try that eventually sealed the game for them as well. A nice front peel off the line out from St. Thomas's as well, but 2 superb counter-attacking tries from Kingswood College, and they chose to run it pretty much from everywhere. Inside their 22, outside their 22. They were really happy to run the ball all day, and it's an exciting Kingswood side who will count themselves rather unlucky that they couldn't beat a Thomian team that faltered once again for the second week in a row. Let's look at the stats from this week's Singer Schools League on the stats.thepapare.com.
Live scores දැනගන්න ThePapare.com වෙත පිවිසෙන්න.
Let's look at the points tables for both groups. In Division 1A, we have Royal College unbeaten so far. 17 points they have got with their 2 bonus points. St. Peter's College with that massive 82-0 win against Maliyadeva move up the table as well. They are in second place on 12. St. Thomas's with 2 wins out of 3. They are in third position with 11 points. But look for Wesley to try and make their way above them next week with the 1 win out of their 3 games so far. They have a total of 8 points. Kingswood with with just a 1 win, that one coming against Wesley, but they'll be looking for that 4th spot as well. So it'll be a do-or-die battle between STC, Wesley and Kingswood coming up to claim that 4th spot, which I think Malayadeva will probably be relegated to that 6th spot without any question. In Division 2A, we have Isipathana, who are 1 point ahead of St. Joseph's, a very competent St. Joseph's outfit in 2nd place, and they are with 17 points. Trinity College will need to do better, but they're still in 3rd place. They are in 11 points. Science, Zahira and St. Anthony's, another pitched battle there for 4th place as well. But instead of having those teams battle for the 4th position, we have in the other division, we have a battle for 3rd and 4th, but here we have just a 4th place being fought out between Science, Zahira and St. Anthony's. Those are going to be very crucial games coming up later on in the piece as well. The top try scorer so far this season has been someone we never expected to be among the leaderboard of try scorers, and that is Gishapa Kulatunga, a man who seems to almost surprise himself with the turn of pace that he has scored, and has scored some outstanding tries running away from his defenders and going towards the corner flag. Some nice traditional finishing that we have seen from him. He's got 4 tries, and in the point scorer category, Murshid Zubair has got tries as well as points from his boots. So he's got 36 points and he's running the play for Wesley very much, and he will be someone who will be difficult to catch, but there will be players who will be desperate to claw him back. 36 points he's got. Fixtures for the upcoming week, we have St. Anthony's taking on Science in a must-win game for both those teams. That will be a pitched battle up in Nithavela, so St. Anthony's probably have the home advantage. Kingswood will take on Royal in what should be a very entertaining game once again. This Kingswood team is not going to roll over, and Royal will want to use their physicality up front in the same way St. Thomas's did. So look for that one to be a contrasting styles game. We have St. Joseph's taking on Trinity. That's going to be a big match as well, and both teams like to run the ball, so it should be an entertaining tri-fest there at Havelock Park at 4 p.m. on the 22nd. And Wesley taking on St. Peter's. That should be an interesting game as well. Again, 2 teams that play a little bit differently, so that should be a vast entertaining game as well. And then we have Isipathana taking on Zahira. A comfortable win for Isipathana on the cards for sure, and another comfortable win probably for St. Thomas's, unless they manage to do something dramatic in that game against Malayadeva. And finally, our fixtures for the Dialogue Clifford Cup semi-finals. We have Police taking on Air Force, and Police a surprise semi-finalist, and look like they'll be the surprise finalist as well, given their opposition. They should do well against Air Force and go into the final against either Havelocks or Army. Remember, Army beating the fancied CHNFC team and Havelocks beating Navy in the quarterfinals as well. That should be an interesting encounter, but look for a Havelocks Police final, and that should be a very, very entertaining one given the way that the league games between these 2 teams went. That's your weekly breakdown of what went on in the Singer Schools League. A look forward also to next week and of course the Dialogue Clifford Cup. Thanks a lot for joining me on the breakdown here on ThePapare.com.